Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. I hope you enjoy, so let's get started. So I was originally thinking of putting these two over here next to our nice big display. But the problem is that I feel they're way too close to the rest of the display, kind of blocking the view of the other fixtures. So I'm going to move them from here again. And they're going to find different homes kind of above the ceiling fans here. I think one can go right here in the center of the screen. And another one can go like right here in the center of the screen. It kind of keeps things out of the way. I think that'll work out fine. The blades of the white fan here should be low enough that it doesn't hit the light by a couple inches. But I put them here the other day. Wanted to see what it would look like. I just feel they're a little too close. So the Spartan fixture ended up here, and that works out fine. The one problem is that the fan here was a little too close, and if you bumped it, the blades would definitely hit the fixture and probably hurt either the fan or the fixture. So we moved the fan back to where it originally was here at the intersection. That fixed that problem. I was originally looking to see if it could go anywhere else, but I really couldn't find a better place for it. So we also moved the RAB fixture over here, right in the center of this beam thing, and that works too. So we got kind of all the fixtures for canopies up in the middle area here. I think that'll work best. Of course, well, we have the fans in the way and we have height restrictions. So let's continue on with whatever else there is to put on the wall here. Some of the items on the floor here have now found a new home. So we've kind of been just trading walls really, but it's been working out quite well. So we have some of the NEMA heads up over here. You can see I moved a couple things around. This 70 watt high pressure sodium handyman bucket, a very cool fixture. It used to be right here in the center of your screen, but I moved it over here for an obvious spinning reason. If we were to have one of these fixtures with an arm over here, obviously it'd be in the way of the fan. So we're gonna have fixtures curving out in the curvature of the fan blade so that we can accommodate that. And I moved it up a lot higher as well. Well, I mean, maybe it was that high to begin with. I really don't remember. Either way, I'm liking how it's turning out. Now, we are going to add the teardrop to the setup here, the GE, and I believe it's gonna go right here or here. I'll put up an arm, we'll give it a try, and based on that, I'll get some more arms today. We'll continue on from there, but that's what we have at the moment. We got the Form 79 head in its place here. So I have offset the mounting bracket here, the pipe flange and the pipe itself, basically so you can get a wire in the back. So that's why that's a little offset. So we're gonna get a wire on this. We'll wire it up. Let's see what kind of bulb we get in it. And it's obviously low, but that's the whole point, is that it can be more bulky over here. We have the space. So again, display wall. We'll get another one up here. We have the GE to get up here, the high pressure sodium one that is. And then we have the other one there, the lime materials, can't think of things. And we'll get that up on another one of these. So we'll have another cool thing going on this spot once something for it comes today, hopefully. So moving right along again. And the GE Form 79 is all ready in its new home here, all lit up with its 200 watt Sylvania incandescent bulb. Wonderful seeing an incandescent teardrop in here. Have to have it with all the other mercury vapor high pressure sodium. We gotta have an original. So this is really cool. Again, this fixture was a very nice donation from another local lighting collector. In fact, the bulb inside of it was also given to me by them as well. So it's awesome to have it all together here. And hopefully in the next little bit, you'll see more things. And more things there certainly is. It's another day, and some things have changed again. I have acquired more of the little pipes and flanges to put more of the lights on the wall here. So I'm really pleased with how this worked out. Last night, I didn't really think to film anything. It was so late, I was just kind of doing stuff because I wanted to see how it looked. And here we are, well, in a new day. So, what have I done? Well, obviously, we were just taking a look at the GE Form 79 here a second ago. And now, next to it, we have our line materials friend. So that is awesome. They're both at the exact same height, not that it really matters, but it gives you an idea on how much bigger or deeper the teardrop is. And in fact, last night when I had this one on, I flipped them around just to see what the teardrop would look like on the Mercury Vapor. Pretty cool. Now it does look a little slanted. That's because the pipe does have a bit of play in it, but it's not the end of the world. And then we have our GE here. I forget the exact model of this thing, but I'm sure someone will let us know what it is again. I want to say it's like some S something or another, 201 or 102, or it's their area light version. Of course, it's also used for street lights. Obviously, it does have a NEMA tag on it with its wonderful coated bulb inside. Now that one's up a little higher. I would have made it the same height, but it allows for space here for whatever else might come in the future. And right here, I was originally going to put the traffic vision, but as you can see, it found a different home right here. In the last clip, you may have noticed up here, which was there for quite some time. I don't remember if this was a Hubble or a Holophane. It's one of the two. It's 70 watt high pressure sodium. This fixture and its arm was right here. It was a perfect place for it. It was mounted right here on all these 2x4s. But the problem is that I was going to have the traffic vision be right here underneath this. It would be underneath the fan blades. It would work, but it just stuck out too far. I think this is perfect. It allows us to have just enough room in the top to open the ballast compartment and remove it. So even though it looks incredibly tight here, there is enough room to swing it all the way open and remove it at just the right spot to get it out of there. So I'm really happy with how this is mounted here. Obviously, it still doesn't have the glass on it. I'm keeping that inside to keep it safe for the moment. I just wanted to put it up here to see how it would fit and look. And I'm super happy with how this turned out right here. This is in a perfect spot. Now, obviously, I was really hoping to get the ballast in the mail for this thing this weekend, but as usual, it's taking 500 years to show up. So fingers crossed, it might show up a little later today. That would be the best part. If not, I suppose we'll see it Monday, and well, we'll hopefully have some time during the week to put it together because I'm itching to get this thing up and running. It's going to be so cool to see it finally turn on. So there is a setup at the moment. You might notice that the Westinghouse one here is missing its refractor, and that's because I'm about to put a light behind it there. But I thought before I do so, let me take a quick little glimpse picture here of what it currently looks like. So I'm going to get that light up behind it. What light are we putting there? This homemade dual 50 watt floodlight high pressure sodium fixture here that I made a long time ago. I'm going to put it up in between the arm right there. It'll fit just fine, and that gets it up and out of the way, so I'm happy with doing that. Now this wall is not really original to the garage here. As I've said in other videos, it's something that was added a long time ago. So one thing I might do is I have some L brackets left over from doing the wall inside. I might add them in here just to give it a little bit more structural rigidity. But other than that, it seems to be holding just fine. The annoying part is that, well, I could have used a different solution, but as you can see, I just used some really long, sturdy deck screws to hold up these lights. Now, that's not the good way to do it, really. I'd get like a bolt or something, or a hook like I had over here. But the reason I did this is the washer's just the right size. I can slip them on and off. This isn't in a strong windstorm outside. It's just right here, you know, so it doesn't have a whole bunch of other forces on it. It seems to be fine. I've given it a little bit of a, you know, tugging and other forces to see how it would hold up. It seems to be okay. So I'm going to let that be. But of course, when you're over here doing things on the wall, you can make everything shake because it only has one point of contact. But other than that, that is our NEMA head style display, I guess you could call it. I picked this fixture up a couple years ago or more now, and it's just been sitting around the garage here. But I think I finally have a place to put it. I believe this is for a ship or like a Navy vessel. It is a pretty well built dual F15 T8 fluorescent fixture. As you can see here, it's got the interesting sockets that you usually see on, seaworthy vessels. So I wonder if this came from one of the ports around here somewhere. Maybe it was a extra fixture. They just never needed it. The weird thing about it, though, is that it has all the holes here for a cover of some sort and a latch and all that, but none of them actually have any markings of having screws in them or anything. So I'm not sure if this never had a cover on it, or it was designed to not really need a cover, or maybe you put a cover on separately. I'm not sure, but it's most certainly new old stock. Now it's a little dirty. Like I said, it's been sitting around for a while, and I have opened it up once, and it does have a rapid start ballast inside. The only problem is there's absolutely no holes in this thing. Well, I guess there's some in the back here for putting a wire in. So we're going to do that, and we have an auxiliary outlet here and a switch, so that's helpful. But we need to get a cord on it, and then we can get it up in its new home. Here's the insides. We have a Magnatech Universal Manufacturing ballast for two F20 or F15 lamps. Looks like they have a F14 on here as well. It is high power factor, as you can see there. There's something written on it. What does that say? 12/27 of 90, 1990. NB, is that who maybe put this fixture together? I'm not sure, but as you can see, it's a very thick housing this thing has, incredibly so. There's something down there. What does that say? Pollen. I don't know. Something HOU Texas. Houston, Texas? Interesting. Of course, our outlet is right here. It doesn't appear to be wired up at all. And we have our switch, which looks to be wired up to the ballast. Look at how long these leads are. What in the world were they thinking we were doing? Now, the interesting part here is take a look at what wires they use to wire up the sockets. It literally looks like Ethernet wire or telephone wire or something. And it's 22 gauge, but that's not the funny part. It says it somewhere on here. I saw it a second ago. It's rated for 30 volts. Yep, just 30 volts. I think it says 30, unless it says 50. Nope. 30 volts, 30. There you go. 30 volts. I don't know why in the world they use this wire, but that's what they used in manufacturing this fixture. I guess that was spec enough. Interesting. So, I'm obviously going to have to drill a hole in this housing. So I'll either put it here or here somewhere for the cord to come out, and then we'll get it all wired up. And there it is in its new home. I think it works well up there. I was looking for some kind of light to put behind the fixtures here, kind of give it a little bit of something. We have our wonderful bullet light here, swivelier, with our preheat 9-watt PL in there. But here is our dual F15 T8 fixture. Works really well. We have some daylight bulbs in there. The plug is wired up, so if I so choose to use it, it is available. And we got a nice appliance cord on it there, all plugged into our outlet. So I am happy with how this turned out. It gives a nice amount of light behind it there. Of course, I could have changed out the switch for a pull chain switch, would have been easier, but that is original, the toggle switch. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Okay, so that is that fixture in its new home. At the thrift store yesterday, I ended up picking up this F15 T8 manual preheat under cabinet light here. The reason I picked it up is it has a very usable ballast inside of it. So I mainly got this thing just to get the ballast out of it. But as you can see, it's in pretty good shape. Let's go ahead and plug it in here. It's manual preheat, so we got to hold down the end. And there it is. It's got a cool white tube inside of it. And we do have a diffuser here. But it's kind of funny. If we take the diffuser off, we'll see that this fixture is oddly similar to another one. that I have on display up here. This one right here. This, I'm guessing, is the older version of the fixture. It uses a F15T12 bulb, and it does not have a cover. You can put a T8 bulb in it, but when these were new, it came with a T12 bulb. This fixture here I received from my grandpa, and it had a Sylvania GTE bulb in it, I do believe, when I first got it. I don't know where that bulb is right now, but it has a GE bulb in it, a more modern one. But this one doesn't have any type of ability to put a cover on it. It's made to just have the bulb exposed. But if we take a look at this fixture right here, keep that in mind, we'll walk on over. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, just a more modern version. Now, the first thing I looked at is this little curve here. In that version we just took a look at with the T12 bulb, it has a kind of a curved down. This one comes to a peak, and that's because it accommodates the T12 bulb. Now this could accommodate a T12 bulb too, I'd think, because they have the same kind of curve going on here for a big enough bulb like that. We have less fins for the ballast. And if we turn it upside down, I've already taken out the screws here to take a look at the inside. I don't know if that's a date there. 98. Doesn't have any markings on it for a manufacturer, but we do have a nice advanced ballast in here. If we pull it out, very nice ballast. I just have so many of these fixtures, the parts are more valuable to me than the fixture themselves. Now, I love having the older version up there because that has sentimental value to me. This one doesn't necessarily have sentimental value, but it is in really good shape for what it is. It's a bummer that it's manual preheat. It would have been nice if it was actual preheat. Would have made it much more usable on a circuit naturally. But I wanted to share this. Oh, it also came with a nice Philips Chile bulb in it. Pretty cool. Never seen a modern version like this. There is now another. Our Hubble fixture that was originally up here has now got a new home. I went and got yet another one of these arm things. And, well, here we are. It's turning on. Got this from a business that was behind our first apartment when we moved out here. Boy, they didn't really want to give it to me at the first instance there, but then I talked to them a little bit more, and eventually they just let me have it for free with that arm that it was originally on. And here it is. It had all kinds of seized up screws and everything, and I worked on it at work because, of course, at the apartment I didn't have a wonderful workbench yet. So it's kind of been around with me, and it does have a cover for it here. I kind of call it the miniature high mast fixture because that's kind of what it looks like once you get the cover on it. Apparently this was supposed to be a replacement that you could use instead of an actual 175 watt mercury vapor NEMA head. So, you know, if you got one of these that's going bad and whatnot, you just plop one of these in its place, and that must have been what happened because it did originally have a GE arm. But obviously this isn't a GE fixture, so something must have happened to the original GE fixture. I'm sure it was one of these styles. They did obviously make this in mercury vapor going way back, so maybe that's what originally was on it. Of course, GE had, you know, standard NEMA heads as well. But anyway, there it is in its new home, and I suppose for the moment all of this is complete again. Hopefully we get the ballast for that guy soon. I am itching to get it up and running. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Leave a like down below and a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. Of course, check out the other videos here on the screen, and until next time, thank you very much for watching.